Hello, this is a training and demonstration video to go over the OVW LAV template for EmpowerDB. This video assumes that you've already gone to empowerdb.com, clicked on this join button and then that join button, and then filled out this really quick and simple form. You selected the OVW LAV template from here, put in a couple things about your organization. This video will be showing, assuming that you've picked the free template, but you can also look at our two paid accounts and watch this video to learn more about what those benefits are. So again, I'm assuming you've already filled all that out, followed all the directions about how to sign in, and you are here at your homepage. So let's go over first how to add in new user accounts to your system. You can add in as many user accounts as you want. There's no limit. To do that, we would go from the homepage to staff list. And then from up top, we click add new staff. And then we're going to fill out some pretty basic and hopefully anticipated questions about this user account. The one question you should really pay attention to here, though, that's special to the OVW LAV report is this OVW LAV funded question right here. So you have the option of saying whether the staff account is a staff attorney, law student is a choice that's running off the page. You can't see there. But this question is really important because it does get used on the actual report, the report knows which different categories to put a user's activities under. Okay, so again, feel free to add in as many users as you want and you'll see them all on this staff list. All right, let's go over how to add in activities. Now, activities is a type of information that in most cases, we say that this is the most type of data that gets put into the system. For the OVW LAV report, I don't know if that's always the case here, but it's still on the homepage anyways, because that's kind of just how we do things. But this is where you would put in time spent with existing clients in the system. So we'll go over how to add in brand new clients in a moment, but let's say we have a client in here already named Sandra. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm provided an activity for her. It's defaulting for today's date, but we can say, oh, that was actually yesterday. And then we're going to select what service we provided to them. So OVW LAV report is pretty unique in that it really just tracks these three services. And if you're an attorney, the user is attorney, they should really never be picking this category as well. So, it might be the case that you're just putting in a lot of these two services. I'll show you at the end of the video how to expand on this list if you would like to, but it's not required since that's really the only thing that the report needs. So let's say you did both of those things. You can click this plus button. Let's say you're not an attorney and you did all three. Okay, so you can add as many of these types of individual services as you want. And then you can put in some notes. Now these notes do not get added to the LAV report at all. This is just in case it's helpful for you to have notes that go along with these sessions. Okay, so we're going to add those activities and they're in. You also have the option to add in some group activities. So you can click on this groups button to instead say, okay, we did a group service or a pro se clinic. On the actual report, these get combined into just one category, but we felt like here in EmpowerDB, it was nice enough to be able to have the option of selecting one or the other. Perhaps those are pretty different things. And then you would go through and add in all the clients who were in this group. All right, so again, there'll be a notes field here and doesn't go anywhere, just in case it's helpful for you to have these notes onto the group. Okay, so we've added those in, and then now where do we go to see these activities that we've added into the system? On the top left of every page is this calendar icon, and this lets us go to our activities calendar. And here we can see some other test services that I added in earlier. And now here are these two services that activities that we just put in. From this view, we can edit what we just put in. So we can click that, change something about that, save changes. We can also delete something that's happened. So maybe say, oh, actually, we didn't do safety planning. Sorry, that's the wrong button for that. Yep, there we go, delete. And then we can also on this page say, oh, I know I did something on September 28th. Click on that date, and then the window pops up for you to start putting in the thing that happened on this date. All right, so that can be a really helpful thing for just keeping track of your own time and what you've been up to. You can also switch this to an outline view, and this gets us, the same kind of stuff, but in this scrolling through at what you would expect in an outline view. All right, so that's adding in activities. I will just say here that if you're on the free service, just remember that EmpowerDB was built to do a lot more than what you're seeing do here. This is just what the OVW report is expecting you to collect. We can collect all different types of activities, referrals, resources given, and other dropdowns, and lots to do here if you are thinking of expanding what kind of data you collect. Okay, so let's go through and add in a brand new client to the system. So on the home page, I can select Add Client up top, and then I can put in someone's name. Remember that the text data that you enter in here gets encrypted with a key that's only saved on your computers. So I hope that makes you feel as confident as we feel that concept is in putting confidential information into our system, and that even EmpowerDB support staff, we can't see what this is. When we go to pages like this that somebody else sends us, we just see like the word encrypted here. So only you can read the data that you enter into that system. And also wanted to make sure you know that when you're entering in a name, keep an eye out on this existing client check on the top right. This will let you know if there's a client that has been added into the system that has a very similar name or an exact match birth date. And then if you see a notice over here, maybe you want to go to that record and add more things to that record, or maybe you want to ignore it because it's all just a big coincidence. Okay, here are the questions on this intake form. A lot of these things you should be really familiar with if you're already familiar with the LAV report. I'll point out the things that might seem a little bit unusual. And the first is this birth date or age input. This is unique to EmpowerDB. If you know somebody's birth date, the system will always know their age, and they'll always know which age range category to place this client into. So if you know their birthday, great, put it in, you're done. The report will work. If you don't know their birth date, you can estimate their age. The first choice for estimation is I'm not going to estimate it. I have no idea how old they are. So you can just pick that, and that's fine. But you could also say, I think they're about 25 years old. And the reason why we have every single year here listed is because this lets us accurately place this client into whatever age range category any funder throws at us, or it allows us to accurately place this client if they age over time. Like if we see them 2 years later, it'll be listed as 27 years. They'll be listed as 27 years old, and then maybe that bumps them into a different age bracket on the report. I don't remember where the lines fall on this one, but so that's why you see these individual years estimations here. Just do your best, take your best guess. All right, gender. These questions are so easy. Let's just jump right to this legal issues point in time. So this is a pretty key part of the report where you can say, okay, we've got this issue that they've told us about today. This staff person is assigned to this issue, and it is a family law child spousal support issue. Okay, so if that's all they're coming to you for, then great, you're done. But it's common that one client will have more than one legal issues. So for that reason, you can click this include additional legal issue, and you can say, okay, also on September 30th, I'm dealing with this immigration U visa thing. Okay, and obviously the OVW LAV report expects to have the information entered in this way. But then this also lets us say, like, let's say this one we were able to resolve right away, and we say, okay, well, here was the outcome. I just provided them some referral and advice, but this one is still open, and that's totally fine to do. You're going to have lots of open and closed legal issues going through. All right, so you can just keep pressing that for as many times as you need. And then for a similar situation, we can say, okay, they've experienced domestic violence by a current or former spouse or intimate partner, and they've told us about that today. But if they come back to you, months later and disclose different type of abuse, you'll be able to say, okay, this time sexual assault from a stranger. Okay, the OVW report will only look at their latest primary victimization because it's expecting to just have a client be one of these, but it could be looking at the multiple relationship to offenders because the report does allow to have the reporting of multiple abusive relationships. Okay, that's all there is for the amount of intake data that's needed on the OVW LAV report. I'll again say that it's our customers typically want to collect a lot more information than this, and EmpowerDB was definitely built to do that. So if you have thoughts about wanting to expand beyond what the LAV report is expecting of you, please let us know. We'd be happy to talk to you about our paid accounts and how those can suit your needs. At the bottom of this, adding a brand new client form, there's the same add activities module that we saw on the homepage for in case you want to put in some of those services that you provided to them on intake or something like that. Okay, we'll add that new client. Doodly-doo, here they are, they've been added. At any time, we can come back to this record by, let's say we're back at the home page. We can just look them up on the top right, visit their record. We can look them up by name or by client ID number. So you'll see the client ID listed on the next to their name on their main page. So I could have just typed in 13 on this page and gone to the same place. And then from here, we can edit the questions that we entered before, do all that. Potentially, maybe you just want to go through and look at their different legal issues. You can just go right to that by clicking here and then scrolling through these different legal issues like that. From here, we can also look at their activities outline. That can sometimes be a helpful view. So that's that same outline view that we were looking at before, but now we're saying, just show me Elizabeth as activities across the organization. I'll say here that subscribers of a paid account, we can make all kinds of different permission settings to make it so that certain activities only stays visible within your legal department or only stays visible within the attorney who entered it in, things like that. Like we've seen it all when it comes to that. So we can definitely support that if you need to. And then from here, we can click add new activities, brings up this form, same exact form as before. All right, next I want to bring your attention to this clients list on the top. So on the top of every page will be this program list. And this lists every client that has an open legal matter currently for all attorneys. You can narrow it down by specific attorneys to kind of show like an individual user's, open caseload. And we can from here, just click right here and go right to that legal issue entry. If we know, oh, yep, this one's now resolved as of today. There was a court decision. All right, and we can save that. So this can be a helpful way to look up clients and to see who has currently open matters or perhaps no matters at all. There's different things you can do here. Okay, that's really all there is to entering the data that you need. It's really, hopefully you feel like that's super simple. So let's talk about how to get this report. How do we do this? From the home page, we're going to click on Reports up on the top, OVW LAV Report, and I can put in the dates that we want to look at, continue, and these are our report results. Before the results, there's like this different explanations about how the system is pulling the different sets of information that are key to this report. Probably really obvious on this very simplified version of the report, but it's there because some of our other customers, have really complex needs of like, oh, only people who were served on a Friday get shown, and then we can build that in and make sure it's really clear up there. Okay, so these report results you should be totally familiar with these layouts. It's meant to look exactly like the LAV report that OVW sends out. Every number you can click on to get an explanation, see a list of who makes up that number so that you can verify, yes, these are the people that I'm expecting to see in that number. Sometimes, I don't know if we'll see it on this one, but sometimes you'll see like an extra row added in here that's highlighted in yellow, and that's because it's some sort of situation that isn't really accommodated by the LAV report, and you kind of need to fix it before you send your data off of there, and it'll make it clear what needs to be fixed if that happens. Um, yeah, so this is all it. This is your report. Just really 2 clicks to get to all your report results and have it all processed like this for you to transfer into the report format that LAV gives you. Okay, so before we finish, I want to talk to you about just a couple of administrative things that you can do if you are interested in doing so. The first is this list of services. So let's say you kind of do want to expand on what support service means to you and like have a bunch of different options. That was a little quick. I'll make sure you know. I clicked on database administration from the home page, and I can go to the service types section, and now I can add in all the different kind of services that you might be doing, and say, when I do this, I want this to count as a support service for the LAV report. Okay, but potentially if you've done that, maybe you want to go to this like generic support service one and say, I'm going to just make this one be employment support, something like that. Okay, so you can modify your list of activities all that you want, and just always make sure that you've set this OVW LAV conversion to be accurate. Now, I know the OVW LAV report is really specific in that the legal services that attorneys provide should not be counted as support services and safety planning and stuff like that. So you can still set up EmpowerDB to collect the other types of things that the LAV report doesn't want to know, and you would just set this to not have any OVW LAV conversion. The data is not going to go anywhere. It'll be visible in your activities outline when you look up a client, and you do have access to some of the basic reporting tools that EmpowerDB provides in case you want to get some basic data off of the services you provide. But I just wanted to make sure it's clear that you do have that potential to add in service types that don't actually go into the LAV report if you wanted. And then similar kind of things with the groups, where we can say, maybe you do a whole bunch of different support groups or a whole bunch of different pro se clinics that you want to have individual options for in EmpowerDB. You can just say add a new group type, type in that name, and then decide, yes, this should count as a group / pro se clinic for the LAV report. And that's all you need to do. So you'll collect all the different groups, and it will know to filter it all into that one place in the report. Okay, that's what you've got for administration on the free account. The paid account, there's all kinds of, again, extra things that we can do to make that system your own. Before we finish up, I just want to point out this database documentation section here. You can take a look through here. For example, maybe this deleting emerging clients explanation would be helpful to you down the road. And then there is this database support link that you can feel free to visit. But again, remember, if you're choosing the free account, your support will be limited to just if you think that there's a problem, like the system is doing something wrong, like the report is calculating data inaccurately, or there's an error in the system, we want to fix that right away, paid or free account. But otherwise, if you're on the free account, you might just be limited to that and reaching out to us if you want to talk about potentially upgrading. That's it. I hope this video was helpful to you, and we're really excited to be able to provide this free service to organizations who are doing really good work and would like to have a database like this to support them. All right, thanks. Take care.